Hey there, friends. Paige here with our next edition of Paige's Tabloid. I am coming to you this week. I thought I had a great topic. I wrote it down somewhere, and then I don't know where I wrote it down at. I promptly forgot it, and I've got to get this done, or it's not going to get done this week. So I'm just going to shoot off the cuff and talk about a couple new things that I got in this week, and kind of where my ideas are going with future art stuff. It's been an incredibly busy week up at the Naval Academy, where I also work as a tour guide. We've started the new plebe class, the new freshmen that come in. All their friends and family show up, and they need a lot of help navigating the academy. Many times it's their first time ever showing up to the academy, ever coming to Annapolis. So we've been quite busy with that. And I really haven't had a lot of time for art. I can feel hair on me that's not attached to my head. Anyways, but beyond that, I've been thinking a lot about my art and how I kind of want it to change a little bit in the future. Not like my style or anything, but I'm entertaining the idea of bringing prints on with my stuff. And if I do prints, which I feel like I am going to change the way in which I put my art out. I'm going to work more on collections. So like 5 paintings that I will present at one time, and I will have the original paintings, but then I will also do prints. But I can't do a print of every single thing that I have. So that's why I figured if I just worked in collections, I could manage prints 5 at a time, versus 100. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on. And I am working hard actually on trying to get that started. So I'm excited about that. Also, I love when I get art from other people and there's like, a few extra things in it. I've gotten a lot from other people. I've actually purchased some art. Oh my gosh, that's what we should do next week. I should just take you on a collection of other artists that I own. But I like when I get like something a little bit extra in it that tells me a little bit about that artist or whatnot. So I actually did sit down on Canva and made my own. Now, when I show this to you, I think it might be backwards, but I made these large postcards. Yeah, it'll be backwards. But it has a picture of me, a little bit of my work at the top. It is a little bit shiny. And then just like a thank you for purchasing, but also on the back side is some of my art. So you can take this, you could cut it in half and turn these into prints if you wanted to, or just leave it the way it is. So when I generally get other artists' art, when they send it to me like in a postcard form, I actually do like hang it on my fridge or whatnot. So I just think it's kind of fun. But I think this would be cool if you cut it and were actually to frame them. Now, this wouldn't be like a typical print because many times prints aren't shiny. At least none of the prints I've purchased are ever shiny, and this is. So, because it wasn't meant to be a print to begin with, right? But it's just a good way to, to help interact with and increase the value of your packages. Got this from Canva. Love it because you can make it and then they just print it for you and mail it to you in a beautiful package, by the way. So also, this past week, I have picked up some more tools to work with because many of these tools I've tried in the past. I'm with maybe a little bit cheaper versions, or I have a couple of them pieces of it anyhow, and I wanted to add on to it. I myself love markers, and the markers I chose to get a ton of because I have a couple brands that I do like, and I just went ahead and went with Tombow. Now these Tombow ones, I did share these on my stories on Instagram, by the way, so if you're seeing this again, I apologize, but they're double-sided. So one side is a brush and the opposite side is fine. And I did this because this is what I want. This is a good way when you're in your sketchbook to lay down a nice layer, and then you can go over it. So if I have this, I can lay it on the side. Oh my God, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I'm gonna do it again. Excuse me. Oh, it always has to be twice. Or I can just draw it like this, up and down, or if I want, fine, right? And then on top of this, I can layer, oh, you can't see it because of the light. I can layer colored pencil. So I went ahead. These are great markers. The saturation is great. It looks good in your sketchbook. But I went ahead and upped my game on my colored pencils. Before I have a little bit of Prisma colored pencils, and I had some from Stamping Up. They're good quality, but I just was like aiming for, I guess, the best. So I picked up these Luminance colored pencils, and I have been playing with them this week. They're the highest quality. The brand is Couron d'Ache. I'm faking that. I don't know how to say it. But they're Swiss made. They're quite beautiful. And this is kind of ridiculous because they all have their own little carrying case. This is 2 layers. There's 40 total. But when I get ready to get into these, I'm not going to carry it around in this. They're going to all be scooped out and put into a bag and used in that way. What can I do on top of this? Let me go like a purple. But they're called Luminance. But they are the highest quality. I can't remember if these are water soluble. I don't think they are. Yeah, no. So these are permanent. So they are not water soluble. So you can, I don't think they are. Yeah, no, it's permanent. It says right there. So once you lay it down and say you throw some water on top of that, you don't have to worry about it spreading anywhere. And I mean, the saturation on these colors are amazing. So oh, I love that color. I love this color. It's like a coral color. So I got a 40 set of these. Luminance. I would get every single color in this, in the permanent. I love it. I got one more thing by this brand. I got, they're called Neo Colors. So they are wax pastels. They carry this in permanent, but I picked up the water soluble ones. So what is so cool about these is that when you lay these down on paper, it looks like a crayon. It really does. But when you throw some water on top of it, it completely changes. It turns into like watercolor. So here's my pad of paper. One of these days I'll get something that goes, oh, that's for the marker. I'll get like a 2 camera thing, but let's take this one. So it looks like a crayon, right? And I am going to just lay it down here. Let's make a lake. Right? Looks like a crayon. Doesn't look like anything that great. But it's when you get the water on this, oh my gosh, changes it. But you want to know what's so cool about this is that makes this easy. Like when you're going somewhere with just your sketchbook to take these, bring a brush that has water inside of it already, and you can do watercolor type stuff. But look at how brilliant that color is. And if I were to play with this around even more, I could make all those like crown marks go away if I wanted to. A lot of times I don't. And the more water I put on it, I can spread it out, you know what I mean? And change the value of it. But what you can do with these, I mean, the possibilities are limitless. So I picked up, I think it was just 20. I mean, those colors are awesome, right? But so I got the water soluble, but they do make these in permanent. But I don't think I would appreciate the permanent ones as much as this because I don't want anything that looks like crayon on my stuff. Though I don't mind marker, I don't mind colored pencil. I do mind what looks like crayon. It's just my personal preference. If you feel differently, I am okay with that. Okay, and one more thing I was doing this week. I was doing a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. Things that are not like in my wheelhouse, but for my own purposes to stay creative, I had a lot of fun this week actually working on some collage. I love collage. I think I've mentioned this before. I'm hoping I didn't even already tell you guys about this last week. Who knows? But I actually signed up for a course. So this is one way that I keep my voice fresh and moving forward and always learning techniques is I have no problem signing up for another artist class where I feel like I can learn something valuable. Now, whether I put that into my own work or not, you never know. But what happens is it's fun to just take a side path every once in a while and do something different. And that things you do different is kind of what makes my stuff, to me, feel fresh, and I feel refreshed. So I just did a lot of collage work. And essentially what we did in this class is we took large pieces of paper and paint, and we just painted like all these random shapes. Then we cut the paper all apart, and then we piece it back together on another piece of paper. So when I had this put together, it did look like a really fun like flower arrangement, but not one that you would typically find, you know, just anywhere. So I just kind of arranged all these little fun different shapes on another piece of paper, and you're supposed to glue it down and yeah, just make something fun. But the teacher was gluing this down on white paper. White paper is just not my thing. You guys know this. So I was actually maybe going to play with some paint and then glue them down and see what I come up with. This one right here is real simple. I was trying to do like some under the sea stuff, but it just wasn't working out. So this one, when I put it together, it's just like a really simple like flowers in a vase. Definitely not under the sea, but if I just put down some color behind it, I think it would look cool. So that is not generally my wheelhouse, but it's a lot of fun. I started cutting up the pieces, that all these things that I painted that make no sense. It's just, you know, random stuff that will, you know, when I'm trying to put something together, will it look good? Will it not? We don't know until we start playing around with it. So, and it's like a puzzle, which I love puzzles. Anyways, that is a lot of fun, and that's all I've been doing this week. So, and I'm over 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I don't know if anybody learned anything, but it's just, I shouldn't say a day in the life of Paige, but a week in the life of Paige. All right, guys, ciao. I'll see you later. I'll catch you next time, and happy Friday.